Oh. Oh. Ooh. Oh. One of the preparations for contemplation is your seat, and that your seat should be aligned with a shrine, your altar. At your altar, there should be an icon of your Sadguru, your personal guide. Why? In verse 22, an insight into one's guru is shared. They are heavy. The implication of this, they can absorb our pain, our dejection, and most importantly, our forgetfulness. A synonym with being heavy is being dependable. Contemplation is changing our identity from depending on that which is not dependable to changing our identity with that who is dependable. And the fulfillment of this is labha. Labha means gain. This is a sacred, subjective gain, which means it doesn't come from outside. Rather, this is a rediscovering. You become what you were contemplating on. You start to identify, you start to feel joy. Verse 23, tam vidya dukkha samyoga. Right now, we are engaged in yoga, uniting, samyoga, uniting intensely, but with what? Dukkha. Dukkha means that which is not dependable, that which is small. In contemplation, in the completion of contemplation, what is happening? Viyogam yoga samnitam. We should know yoga to be a viyoga, a disuniting, a separation from that which is not dependable, small, and so on. The word viyoga here in our Upanishad course would be described as dhyana. In our 100 Steps to Infinity course would be described as viveka. In our Vedanta and Bhagavata course, it would be described as vyatireka. I'm sharing with all of you that all of our maps, all of our shastras are training us in contemplation because that's the only way. I'm emphatically, clearly sharing only. This is the only means to feel independent or in the language of Bhagavad Gita, tushta. Last year, when we were in chapter 2, and Prince Arjuna asks, Shri Krishna, tell me the sign of one who is free. And in verse 55, Shri Krishna uses the word, they are tushta. They are content. This thought ends this section of verses, the one who has completed contemplation. And Shri Krishna almost gives a valedictory address. Therefore, remember, he's teaching Prince Arjuna, who is not complete yet. Sa nishchayena yoktavyaha. Practice with determination. Yoga anirvinna chetasa. Practice this yoga, that is contemplation, with determination and inspiration. This line is very much an expression of the word Upanishad. Upa means near. Be near one who is inspired. Ni, nishchayena, with determination. And sad technically means to destroy. Here it means contemplation. Destroy any holding on to that which is not dependable. So Upanishad, inspiration, determination, contemplation. When I read this verse, this reminds me of Bhagwan Buddha. Despite living in the pleasure palace, which all of us live in also, he didn't have problems in life. But he was proactive. He knew that the world cannot complete him. He was inspired. So he let go of that. And he sat under a tree and shared to the multiverse, I will not leave this seat until I am complete. Determination. And what did he do? He engaged in contemplation. And he was born as Prince Siddhartha, but he rediscovered he is Bhagwan Buddha, the one who's awakened to his nature, to one's nature. This is most lovely because in Bhagavatam, Shri Krishna is the 20th avatara. And Bhagwan Buddha, the 21st. Both are teaching inspiration, determination, contemplation. We shift tones, teachings. I'm reading to you what Puja Gurudev has shared in terms of a summary of what we've experienced thus far. To summarize, by the quietude of the mind, gained through concentration, when one comes to rediscover one's own self, his is the bliss absolute, which, though the senses cannot be perceived, and yet, through a pure intellect, can be lived, and having reached which, there is no more any return. Having gained which, there is no greater gain to strive for, and which is not shaken even by the lashings of the greatest tragedies in our existence, is the wondrous truth that has been indicated by the Gita as the self, the goal of all rational men of discrimination and spiritual aspirations. That is what contemplation is, summarized in one paragraph. The framework that we have developed space, seat, senses, sentiment, and surrender. We have now completed 390 mornings on Bhagavad Gita. That was last year and this year. We have now completed 10 weeks of Bhagavad Gita just in this year. We have now completed half of the chapter on Dhyana Yoga. We have now completed, as a community, contemplating for 1,020 hours. As a community, we have one more month to invest into this chapter, into contemplation. Practice. A re-summarization is shared in verses 24 and 25. Obviously, we'll start with 24. Sankalpa prabhavan kaman tyaktva sarvana sheshataha manasevendriya gramam viniyamya samantataha. The first quarter. Prabhavan gives birth. Sankalpa, imaginations, give birth. Give birth to what? Kaman, desires. We give birth to imaginations, and imaginations give birth to desires. How do we give birth to this? We give birth to this by feeling we can create joy. If you feel you can create joy, you're going to give birth to what's going to create that joy. Maybe it's popularity. Maybe it's a special food. And then that solidifies to become a desire. When we begin contemplation, I've shared with all of you to appreciate what you have, and then to deepen this to appreciate who you are. Our gratitude tends to be conditional. If I ask all of you, what are you grateful for? You'll share because it's spring. You'll share because you've completed your tax return. See how that gratitude is conditional? It's almost like I'm grateful that this external factor has been achieved. To really stop this sense that I can create joy and the imaginations and the desires that come with this, try to evolve your gratitude from being conditional to being unconditional. That's much deeper. Not what you have, but who you are, and even who you are, from a healthy body to a quiet mind to finally, I'm grateful that I am God. I'm grateful that this is my nature. This practice becomes more emphatic in the second quarter. Tyaktva, renounce, disidentify, sarvan, all, asheshataha, all from all sides. Put more simply, Shri Krishna is sharing, there cannot be even a fraction of a sense that I can create joy. The ego expresses in the intellect as the doer, karta. And what does this doer do? Expresses itself as, I should accomplish this, and I should accomplish that, and I should accomplish all. So much of what we invest in, our accomplishments, are because we feel we're supposed to. Why do you go to college? I'm supposed to. Why did you take this corporate job? Because I'm supposed to. Why is your house large? It's supposed to. Whenever we live by, I'm supposed to, once you achieve that, you will feel, what next? And that is an exhausting feeling. I'm trying to share in a practical sense how intense our conviction must be that we cannot create joy. That sense will start imaginations, will start desires. The only accomplishment for all of us is to be a contemplator with inspiration and determination. No distraction, no dejection. Manasa eva indriya grama. All of the senses along with the mind. The senses are the employees, the mind is the employer. Viniyamya. Yama means to discipline. Viniyamya means to direct. There is a reason for that discipline. Samandataha, Shri Krishna is using a synonym for asheshataha, which means from all sides or completely. One's senses, one's mind, through general living have to be disciplined. In contemplation, they have to be directed with no outlet, no compromise. This thought is continued in the next verse. Remember the framework. Space, seat, senses, sentiment, surrender. We're building up to surrender. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Oh. 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 Appreciate what you have. Appreciate who you are. appreciate. Just appreciate. With one's lifestyle pure, relax the body. Generally, by living in a healthy way, right eating, right exercising, the body will generally be more relaxed. Specifically, use the thought massage. Identify with every part of the body, from the feet to the head, part by part, relaxing that part and renouncing that part. With the body calm, enjoy breathing. Generally, by practicing deep breathing, one will naturally enjoy breathing more. Specifically in contemplation, just enjoy. No control, no labeling. Enjoy breathing. With the breath natural, chant with the mind. With much dharana or concentration, engage in japa of a mantra in the mind. the mind quiet. The most powerful equipment that we have is the intellect. It is the supervisor. The mind is the manager. The breath is the energizer. The body is the worker. The untrained intellect, like a supervisor or karta or doer, is ever instructing. Having the sense to create joy. So there's a projection. So there's a desire. The contemplative intellect changes its identity from instructing to inquiring. Inquire with the intellect. Inquire into, are you dejected? Or are you content? Inquire with candidness, honesty. Inquire into, what are you? Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.